Hello, welcome to Wellness with Whitney Hill. This is Coach Whitney Hill with another Workout Wednesday. Today we are going to do a kettlebell workout. I have 5 different movements for you. We're going to do some single-sided stuff, and while working instability, it'll build the stability in that midline that we always talk about wanting to build. So today we're doing 3 different single-sided movements and a couple standard movements, maybe a couple new ones you don't know. So let's go ahead and get you started. Today, sorry for my sniffles, it is cedar fever season in Texas. So if you're around here, you know what's going on with the allergies. But nonetheless, it's Workout Wednesday, so we prevail. We're going to start with a single-sided deadlift. Your rep scheme for today will be 20, 15, and then 10. So 20 reps of everything, 15 reps of everything, and then 10 reps of everything. You can do 20 per side on all the single-sided things for the maximum top end of the workout, or you can scale it down and do half and half. So scale it by weight, scale it by how many reps you're doing, scale it by how many rounds, and then I'll show you a couple different ways you can scale the movements. So to start, we're doing that single-sided deadlift. I want that kettlebell to be right next to your foot, and your feet are going to be stacked right underneath your hips. So I'm going to think about getting all 4 corners of my feet on the ground, so I'm making sure to wiggle my toes around. I want to feel the ground between my big toe, baby toe, and both corners of my heel planted on the ground. And then I'm just going to think about turning my feet into the ground to where I really activate my glutes, and you can feel that happening while my knees turn to the outside. And then from there, I'm just going to think about sending my hips back while keeping my chest up. So roll those shoulders down and back, sending my hips back, let those knees come out, hips back, chest stays up, and I'm going to grab that kettlebell, keep my shoulder down and back, and then I will just pick it up by squeezing my glutes, pushing that ground away, guys. Every time we deadlift something, just think about push that ground away, squeeze my butt forward, and then hinge at that hip, push the hips back, and then back down and up. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see what I mean by pushing the hips back. So from here I have that nice straight line. My shoulders are down and back. I'll think about pushing those hips back. My knees are going out, chest is staying up, and then squeeze my glutes forward. Hips are going back, knees are going out, chest is staying up. So it doesn't have to be a super quick movement. I would rather it be nice and slow and controlled. That way we can focus on keeping that nice straight line, okay guys? Then we're going to lay on the ground. We're going to think about keeping our heels planted on the ground so we can protect our low back. Kettlebell's going to go above your head. You're going to I like to kind of pick my feet up a little bit, plant my low back on the ground, plant my heels, and then I roll my shoulder blades down and back. That kettlebell, I'm just going to make sure it's placed right over my head. And from here, I'm going to do a laying pullover plus a skull crusher. So I'm just going to nice and tight keep those shoulder blades pinned down and just pull that kettlebell up with straight arms. And then from here, I'm just going to hinge at the elbow. Be very careful to not hit my actual head. And then extend straight up through that tricep and straight back down to finish that pullover position. Woo. So one more time, straight pull over, hinge at that elbow, coming down for the skull crusher, straight back up, and then straight back down to finish out that pullover. Straight up, hinge at the elbow for a skull crusher, keep that belly nice and tight. Protect that low back by sucking that belly button down to the ground, so I'm keeping my core nice and braced, keeping my heels planted. Then we have a single-sided kettlebell front squat. Again, we're going to work the obliques a lot with this one, build some stability in the midline while working instability. So I want you to hold this kettlebell in that front rack position where you would be holding a bar if you had it. So it's on my chest. And it's resting on the back of my arm. I still have my shoulder blade down and squeezed together in the bottom parts of my shoulders. So I'm squeezing to the bottom parts of my scapulas together. not the top part of my scaps, but the bottom. That's why my shoulders are down and back. And then I'm going to keep my elbow pinned to my side, and I like to bring my arm out while I corkscrew my feet into the ground, let my knees track out. And then this helps me keep my balance a little bit. And I'm just going to squat like normal. So if you need more squat technique, you have my video below with more squat technique. But again, knees are tracking out, hips back, chest up. Just like with our deadlift, it's just a little bit wider stance, and then we squeeze the butt up. We go all the way down, squeeze the butt up. So for this one, you can have a little bit wider stance than you did with the deadlift. I'll move the kettlebell so you can see. My shoulder blades down and back, my arms out, my legs are a little bit wider than my hips. You can angle your toes out towards the corners just a little bit, not a huge turn, but just a baby turn out. Knees go out, hips go back, chest stays up, and then I squeeze the butt to the top. Each time, try to keep that chin neutral. Try not to look down or up, but try to just look straight, guys. So that's your third movement. That's your single-sided kettlebell front squat. Then we're just going to do a traditional American kettlebell swing, which is just where you end with that kettlebell all the way overhead. Anytime you do a kettlebell swing, it's that really nice hinge at the hips and then snap them forward by squeezing your glutes. So we're really practicing that movement today. Shoulders are again down and back. I'll start by snapping my hips forward, snap them forward, and then eventually, I'll finish with that kettlebell going overhead, snapping my hips forward each time, hinging back towards the wall behind me, and letting my shoulders guide that kettlebell to the top. So traditional American kettlebell swing. Then you can leave your kettlebell on the ground, lay it down on its side, and we're going to do more of a tricep style single-sided push-up. So for this, you'll have one hand on the kettlebell, and oddly enough, having that little bit of elevation on one hand is going to make a huge difference on the muscles in your shoulder. You'll feel a lot more of that anterior delt activating, and it's going to be a little crazy if you've never done this before. So, anytime we're holding a push-up, we want to always think about keeping that nice straight line between hips, shoulders, and knees. Keep those shoulders down and back. And I want to keep my body stacked over my hand. So I don't want to be back like this. I don't want to be over it. I just want to be nice and even. And I don't want my butt to be up or down. And if you need to, you can go on your knees for a scaled option, but still keep that straight line between your hips, shoulders, and knees. So, if you need extra help when you're on your toes, you can go wider with the legs, but the closer you are with your feet, the more difficult it'll be. My shoulders always down and back. And then from here, I'll just really keep thinking about pinning that elbow as close to my rib cage as possible. So shoulders down and back. I'm going to brush my rib cage with my elbow, try to get that chest to touch the kettlebell, and then push all the way back up. Coming all the way back down, nice tight belly, push straight up. While I'm doing this, I'm keeping my quads engaged, I'm keeping my core engaged, I'm keeping my glutes engaged. Everything is nice and tight as if I'm holding a plank. So the tighter your body is, the less weight it'll feel like you're holding up. So I had a background in tumbling, and then I unfortunately broke my neck, so I stopped doing those things because that was scary. And I learned a lot about holding your own body weight. So if you think about squeezing that belly nice and tight, squeezing your core, squeezing your knees and your hips and your toes together, keeping everything nice and straight in a nice straight line. So thinking about squeezing everything nice and tight, what one of my tumbling coaches always told me was we have $300, have a $100 bill between my butt, $100 bill between my knees, and a $100 bill between my ankles. And I'm going to try to keep that as often as possible in any of these movements that I can. So in that push-up, my ultimate position would be to come into this feet all the way together, keeping everything squeezed nice and tight, to come down into my push-up and then extend. Another reason why I want you to think about keeping those elbows close to your side and then pushing away from you is because as I'm standing, you can even see, if someone were to be coming at me, I would most likely push from here rather than outward, yeah? Or in this position or this position. So if we practice from pushing where you would push a human away from you, it's a little more functional and a defensive idea. So moving forward, we're going to finish with a Kettlebell Halo. So this can be a time when you catch your breath a little bit more. Shoulders are down and back. And I'm just going to think about passing the halo or passing the kettlebell all the way around my head like a halo. I'm going to do counterclockwise and clockwise circles. So I'm just going to stay as close to my head as possible, tap my glasses on that first one, and then come right back around to those elbows down in front. Come up, open up those elbows, open up the elbows to the room in front of you, and then back down into the front. One more time, open up the elbow to the front of the room, other elbow to the front of the room, and then back to the front. And then you will just do the opposite circle to hit both sides. You will feel this in your shoulders, most definitely, and also in your core. Keep your core nice and tight and try to fight the movement side to side, forward and backwards. Really brace yourself and you'll get a nice ab workout while we do this. So, really quickly, I'm just going to tap my phone, let it zoom in. You can see the board over there with the workout written on it, guys. My verse of the day that I wanted to share with you is give and you will receive. So, that is why I give free workouts, I give free instruction, free technique, because God put it on my heart to give to all of you, and that is why I'm doing this. I could not do it without you, and I thank you so much for watching. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you hit the bell, you'll be notified every time that I post a new video. I am very dedicated to posting every Wednesday because consistency is key in life. So, check back here every Wednesday. If you ever want to shop my activewear gear, you can shop it at myzia.com/WhitneyHill. You can check out my Instagram at Coach Whitney Hill, and you'll see more of my live action feed all day, every day of what my life is like, what I eat like, what my crazy dogs are like that you'll probably hear barking in the background all the time. But you'll even see what it's like when I train my one-on-one clients. So check out my Instagram, subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Make sure that you share with your friends and share the love, guys. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for liking this, guys. Comment below anything you want to see next. And I love you so much. Mwah! Be blessed.